Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Family Care Nutrition webinar. Today, our topic is tapping into the nutritional secrets of greens and herbs for energy. So a little bit about our speaker today. Elvis Ali is our resident nutritional advisor at Family Care Nutrition. He is one of the first full-time graduates of CCNM, and he is an author of several books and research papers. So I'll let Elvis take it away.
Thank you very much, Alvin. Well, the agenda for today is I'll start off with an introduction. Then we will go through some of the causes. Why do people have depleted energy that leads to fatigue? Then I'll talk about certain tips with exercise, stress, sleep, certain things that causes depletion of energy. And then I would like to introduce to you some innovative natural products called active greens and talk about iron, how they can increase and boost your energy naturally. Then we'll follow up with some questions and answers. So let's get right into it about why do we have depleted energies? The reasons why you may feel tired and depleted of energy can vary from a multiple amount of reasons. First is exercise. And when you look at people, when they don't exercise, it makes us really lethargic and fatigued. So exercise is very important to get your blood pumping, get the oxygen to the cells, and really relieve a lot of problems that people stem from if they sit around too long. Other reasons that you see is from insomnia, which is lack of sleep. So when people don't get sufficient sleep, they wake up unrefreshed and tired, and this could lead to a very lethargic, even from the morning, afternoon to the evening. So sleep is very important. Also, on that note, stress in general affects so many of us, be it at work. It is so complex, especially in living with a chronic condition. And there's many tips that people use when they are stressed out at work, and we can discuss that later on. But I also like to also explain, besides sleep, lack of exercise, stresses, there are two key things that you have to consider. One is anemia, which is low iron, and number two is thyroid disorder, such as something called hypothyroidism, where you feel very exerted on doing anything and very tired. But it's very important to note poor dietary habits or maybe nutritional deficiencies may also contribute to low energy levels. Now, what are the causes of fatigue? So there's a multitude of lifestyle factors, your overall physical health, or even emotionally. So when we're talking about the actual causes of fatigue, we had spoken about physical exertion, which is a lack of physical activity, lack of sleep, I mentioned. When you talk about diet, it's about being people who are overweight or in some cases obese. And maybe some people may be affected emotionally from emotional stress, boredom, even grief. Also to know that even taking certain medications, such as antidepressants and sedatives, using alcohol in some cases, people may think that will help, or consuming too much caffeine, or not eating a good nutritional diet. These are all things that can cause fatigue. As I had mentioned before, things like anemia or an underactive thyroid. These are very important. And last but not least is the mental health issues, which can lead to fatigue. For example, let's say fatigue is a common symptom that you would see if people who are anxious or they're depressed, or even something called seasonal affective disorders in the wintertime. So there are many causes of stress, as you could see. So the factors that are leading to low energy, I wanted to give you a statistical research that was shown that could you imagine 15.3% of women and 10.1% of men actually complain that they feel tired on a regular basis or even exhausted. And that's according to the Center of Diseases of Control and Prevention, otherwise known as CDC. When we use the term fatigue, fatigue in general is a term used to describe an overall feeling of tiredness or lack of energy. It isn't the same as simply feeling just drowsy or sleepy. So when you are fatigued, you have no motivation and no energy. And that could lead to people being sleepy. And you can see weakness, which is attributed to fatigue or physically or muscular weakness. It could be tiredness, listlessness, and that all can lead to the factors that people show when they have low energy. I wanted to explain a little bit about sleep cycle. And if you've missed this comprehensive webinar we did earlier, you will see that there are more in-depth stages of sleep, and there are 5 stages. For this presentation, not getting enough sleep is one of the more obvious causes of fatigue. So it's very important. Sleep should be restful and uninterrupted. It's no good people sleeping for 2 hours and then waking up and then go back to sleep for 3 hours. You need to have that so called direct amount of maybe an average of 8 hours continuous of sleep. Explanation of what I mean by REM, which is called the rapid eye movement. This is the stage when we say that people are in their sleep, or what we call, this is when we have the cases where we have to focus on mental energy. So in the REM state, it's very important to understand this is called the rapid eye movement. This is actually the sleep, or what we call the dream and sleep. As opposed to when we talk about the non-REM quiet sleep, this is when both the energy levels are affected in different ways. And it's very important to understand that in REM sleep, this is where we have creation of energy we call the adenosine triphosphate in the mitochondria. That is the energy that we need. So in the non-REM stage, this is where the deep sleep appears to be one that plays the greatest role in energy. It enhances your ability, enhances when I talked about ATP, which is the body's energy molecule. So we need REM sleep because it facilitates the mental energy and also helps with learning and memory. I briefly mentioned diet as one of the reasons of people having low energy. If they're not eating appropriately, they're missing their meals. Well, how do we get energy? Well, we look for food. However, if we eat refined carbohydrates, processed foods, if we eat a lot of intake of sugar, that can help, yes, definitely as a stimulant. It'll increase our energy, but then we have a rebound. So then we have low energy. Then we eat and consume more energy. Then subsequently it falls. So this makes us so exhausted and like we're on a yo-yo, rebound, up and down, up and down. So instinctively, when we do eat sugar and the body goes into low energy, we crave more refined carbohydrates or sugar. So when we look at diets, we look at stimulants. So stimulants are usually used when we're tired. So what do we resort to when we get tired? And I'm sure most of us, like myself, usually have cravings for sugar, maybe caffeine. And these are the stimulants. It's like a class of foods and drugs that stimulate our system, but it's only short term. So sugar increases your blood sugar levels. It gives you a temporary burst of energy, and then there's a rebound effect. It's low. So just to finish off on caffeine and certain things like coffee or tea or chocolate, these elevate your heart rate. It raises your blood pressure. It boosts your energy, but the effect is short term. So until it's fully metabolized. So like sugar, once this boost of energy is done, the energy level drops below pre-caffeine levels and your body begins to crave more and more. So diet is very important when it comes to energy, and you should pay a particular attention on getting complex carbohydrates and keep away from refined sugars. We have something called for boosting. A lot of athletes, they would crave energy when they're performing. So they look for quick energy bursts, caffeinated drinks, sugar drinks. When you look at fatigue, it's often related, I talked to earlier, stress, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, or poor diets. Unfortunately, these energy drinks that have amino acids or high amount of B vitamins or certain herbs that are stimulants, these energy drinks are also likely to set you up for this what we call rebound fatigue, especially when the effects of caffeine and sugar wears off. So just a tidbit to understand a little bit about energy drinks. They may help, but they really they don't really take into consideration the underlying causes of fatigue. So they may not help each individual on a long-term basis. I wanted to talk about certain things like adaptogens and antioxidants, but first let me talk about adaptogens. Adaptogens work at a molecular level, what we say by regulating a stable balance in our brain, particularly it's called the hypothalamus or the pituitary, as well as the adrenal glands, because whenever we are stressed, on our back, we have the kidneys, and on top sit two adrenal glands that pump out something called cortisol. And whenever we are stressed, they are involved in the stress response. So when you look at herbs specifically to deal with stress, there are a lot of studies and a lot of studies coming out to show how these adaptogens and taking these herbs can help recover from both short-term as well as long-term physical and most importantly, mental stress. And they have what we call neuroprotective elements, which we call anti-fatigue properties, antidepressive effects, and they also stimulate the central nervous system. Thereby, adaptogens help increase energy levels. It increases endurance. It fights off fatigue and enhance mental performance and memory. So herbs that have been a lot of studies being done on ashwagandha, Siberian ginseng, and the past couple of years turmeric, they are great because they are very great adaptogens that help the body adapt to certain stresses, be it short term or long term. On the other hand, we have something called antioxidants. Antioxidants was a buzzword maybe over a dozen years. And when you look at antioxidants, in a nutshell, they are chemicals to help stop or limit the cause of free radical destruction. And there are many foods, especially if you choose the foods that are very colorful, the bright red, the bright yellow, green. These are the foods that provide you with antioxidants that you get increased energy. And energy comes from calories, whether it's from fat, carbohydrates, or protein in the foods you take. So when you look at supplementation for antioxidants, why should we take antioxidants? Aren't you exposed to environmental toxins? Maybe exposed to tobacco smoke, certain things like our drinks like alcohol and pollution, even ultraviolet rays, processed foods that have certain substances that are added in. These are all things that causes oxidization and it causes free radical production. So supplementation with several antioxidants and the examples I've shown here, like astaxanthin, catechins, quercetin, all these foods, anthocyanidins, these can all be very helpful in increasing and also improving our energy metabolism in our bodies. So I want to talk about now, you're tired, you're fatigued, for whatever reasons, be it a metabolic organ problem, be it a diet like exercise. Very important to note, supplements can help you really stay alert and actually keep you energized throughout the day. But like I said, there are no substitutes for your body's basic needs, like getting adequate sleep, eating a healthy diet, staying hydrated, and exercising regularly. I'd like to introduce you to something called vegan liquid iron. This is a multitude of vitamins and minerals that work inside in the body that helps to convert. When you think about vitamins and minerals, they actually help convert the food you eat into the energy that keeps you going all day. So if you're eating a well-balanced diet, and I don't know many people who do, then you're probably getting the most. But for those of you who are not and very tired, here we have vegan liquid iron that has minerals and also vitamin B12. Why B12? Because B12 is important and the key to transforming the food into what you eat into energy that you could use. Vitamin B12 is very important also for nerves and also for blood cells to keep them healthy and helps prevent things like anemia. This is why iron is a supplement that most people are deficient in, and they have to make sure to get their blood work done. And it's very easy to ascertain from a blood test that if you're low in iron or any other problems causing anemia. So with folic acid, you'll see an iron and B12. It is in the and the red blood cells B12 and iron, they help to carry oxygen throughout the whole body to give you energy. And most importantly, vitamin C is there because it helps to increase the iron absorption. So this is a very important product to consider if you're tired. Other natural supplements that I'd like to talk about is active greens. Now, in general, if you are eating well, that's great. But in general, I would say if you're not eating well and not getting your daily servings of vegetables, then active greens, as you will see, are very highly recommended because they give you that boost of energy that you require that is natural. So let's take a look at the first example of active greens. So the first one that I'd like to talk about is energy and stamina. This, as well as the other two I will talk, it's a vegetable certified blend of over a dozen comprehensive, what I call superfoods, and it features many different things inside. So, not to talk about all these because of the time constraints, let's talk about certain things. One of the ones is like you will see, um, I listed there. I'd like to talk first about when we talk about mushrooms. Mushrooms are very important, and you'll see that not only do the mushroom provide antioxidants, they provide the antioxidants. Why? Because they fight and protect against the oxidative damage that I talked about earlier by in the cells caused by free radical destruction. A combination of things like cordyceps and Siberian ginseng does a great job to fight and also help to aid during recovery, especially during mental and or physical performance. L-theanine is also important because it gives you that temporary relaxation. It promotes and relaxes the body. And when you're very tired and fatigued, you need to be very relaxed. And other things that you'll see in the product is maca as well as the mushrooms. They also provide and protect against oxidative damage. And you'll find that a lot of combinations that you see, they work synergistically because the body is so complex. We are made up of many muscles. The overall body, they have certain things that maybe you need problems if you have problems in the neck, in the back, in the shoulders, in the head, in the lower back, in the knees, in the joints. You find that when you have a comprehensive combination of all these ingredients, the bottom line is they help to mitigate mental and also even overall athletic performance. So this is a combination that you will see very effective, very innovative for energy and helps with stamina. And let's face it, how many of us eat 8 to 12 fresh fruits and servings on a daily basis? Sometimes it's very difficult. So with this combination with all these, it's very important to understand by taking this, it can actually boost your energy immediately. Our next product is called the Daily Green Boost. Like I said before, highly recommended for boost and energy. It also has the blend of a comprehensive list of superfoods, but in particular, this one has spirulina, which is a plant algae with blood purifying properties, in addition to yielding amino acids for growth. So it's also a very rich source, this skew, with chlorophyll, which helps neutralize acidity in the blood due to its affinity to alkalize the blood. So maca, I'm sorry, Maca, I mentioned in the last cue, this one also has something called matcha, M-A-T-C-H-A, very good to fighting off fatigue. It's what we call a great friend, or what we call a powerful ally in fighting fatigue. And the combination of naturally occurring amino acids, small, a little bit of natural caffeine tends to give that instant boost to personalize your energy levels. Also, when we talk about stress, matcha is very important to relieve stress. It has high amounts of what we call amino acids, choline, particularly L-theanine, and has strong associations with the production of what we call alpha waves in the brain. And if you do the research, the studies do show that when L-theanine is absorbed into our bloodstream, dopamine and serotonin levels, what we call the happy hormones, tend to rise up. So it gives us that boost of feeling that euphoric and energy goes up, which is produced by the alpha waves, which often gives us the feeling of overall well-being, general happiness, relaxation, and keeps us alert. Great antioxidant combination. So when you look at the whole combination of these, they actually, in summary, they fight and protect each cell against oxidative damage, which are caused by free radicals. The next cue, the third of our active greens, this one is called immune and antioxidants. What do they do? Well, they have many ingredients that fight and protect cells from oxidative damage. And also, keynote, most of the ingredients here, like astragalus and ginseng, it helps by the providing mental and physical energy if they're depleted. Why? Because they have adaptogenic properties, which helps us to resist stress levels, particularly ginseng. There are numerous studies to show adaptogens like ginseng help not only to increase our energy, but also helps with the resistance to a lot of stress in cases, be it mental or physical, and also to know that there are multitude of other things like maitake mushrooms, spirulina, chlorophyll, alfalfa. All these ingredients inside here combined with spinach and kale and beets as well as the other skews really help us to ward off certain problems with energy. Last but not least, grapeseed. Grapeseed in this combination, when you look at products that have antioxidant qualities, grapeseed, a lot of people don't know, it is loaded with antioxidant. It is actually shown to be 20 times more potent than vitamin C, 50 times more potent than vitamin E, and 100 times more potent than green tea. So when you look at these products and you look at this one in particularly, great adaptogenic and loaded with antioxidants. Well, besides products, lifestyle habits are very important. And you have to, if you do have low energy, very important to understand how does lifestyle help with energy? Well, as the multitude of things that you will see on the bullet points, you got to stay hydrated. You got to make sure you eat healthy. And I caution most people to start to eliminate and decrease sugar. Sugar, as we know, depletes the immune system. Sugar, as we know, gets people in the state of inflammation. So many studies are coming out now about why sugar should be limited. Exercise is very important, as I had mentioned. Lack of exercise is not good. But I also forgot to mention increasing too much exercise and doing it too quickly is not very good. So get a healthcare worker, get somebody, get a practitioner before you start your exercise. I really recommend just start walking. That is so simple. And that of maybe 3 days a week, you can go up to 4 days a week and then 5 days a week. When we come to sleep, there's all different types. The average amount is 8 hours. Some need less, some need more. So it's very important. Sleep, very crucial when you think about lifestyle changes. Make sure when you go to sleep, turn off your radio, turn off your TV, turn off your computer. Make sure it's dark. Make sure the atmosphere is and the temperature is suitable because that can disrupt your sleep. So you have to avoid a lot of these stresses. And most people may tend to think about deep breathing exercises before sleep. So that is very important to handle certain types of stresses. When we look at lifestyle changes, avoiding a work or social schedule that's overly demanding as put on the slide there. It's very important for you to understand, be prepared, be focused, set goals. Very important. Also, when you look at activities to help you maybe before you go to sleep, or during the day if your energy are low, exercises to breathe. Even doing yoga, if you could join a program or do something maybe 5, 10 minutes, Tai Chi or Qigong. These are all things that people can help to rectify certain lifestyle changes to increase energy. And last but not least, abstain from abstaining from stimulants is very important. So keep away from alcohol. Limit as much as you can. Refrain from smoking and taking unnecessary medication. These are all things to combat fatigue. And the bottom line I'd like to say is that everybody is different. No two individuals are alike. So when you are able to ascertain and find out the etiologies of why you're tired, and very important to check with your healthcare practitioner to check for any conditions from a thyroid problem, from adrenal exhaustion that leads to hypoadrenia, that also should not be dismissed. But if you do know that you're sleeping well, eating well, exercise, you may have to think about certain other things with your healthcare practitioner, and specifically anemia and hypothyroidism. So, by feeling tired, you have to really do your homework and check your stress level. And very important to understand, there are very good news when it comes to fatigue. Just making a few lifestyle changes may well overcome your energy levels and your overall quality of life with using natural supplementation, having a good diet, good sleep, and help you both mentally and physically, not 2 hours or 3 hours, but throughout the time you wake up fresh and refresh all during the day till you go to bed at nighttime. So thank you very much. And Alvin, I'll put it over to you before we open up for questions and answers.
Thank you, Elvis. So this does conclude the information portion of the webinar. Before we go into Q&A, be sure to stick around right until the end for a $50 promo code that you can use to buy such supplements at familycarenutrition.com. So we will now open up to questions and answers. For question and answers, feel free to unmute your mic, or you can type it in chat and I will tell Dr. Elvis the questions that you may have, and he will answer it to the best of his ability. Thank you.
Alvin, if I may say, I know I mentioned two products that are great for people with low energy, but like I said, if there's a metabolic organ problem in the body, there are a multitude of different products, and we are very open for people to visit us at Family Care Nutrition. Our website is www.familycarenutrition. You could come in. I've had people come in and ask certain questions on a variety of many other problems that they were diagnosed with. So I always wanted to say that. And there's a lot of information we have on past webinars. People could go on and review it. You could share with others. We are really looking forward also for people's feedback on what they would like us to talk about in the future.
Sonia asks, where is the physical location of Family Care Nutrition?
Well, if you go on the website, we're on McNichol 3681. People could Google and you'll find us there. It's in the closest intersection is Markham and Steeles. And by the way, we're not open yet on weekends, as most of you know, because of reasons. So now we're open from Monday to Fridays, and you could drop by after 10 a.m. We're usually there till 5, 6 p.m. Thanks, Sonia.
Natalie asks, can we mix fresh fruit and veggies with the active green products?
I would say yes, but it's not recommended because we have such a synergistic, when you look at the ingredients that we have a holistic approach when we formulate our products, especially the active greens. So there are multitude, and it's very potent. So for those people, like I said, who don't eat well, they could add the greens, and it's a great tasting skew of products. But absolutely, Natalie, you could, if you want to add extra, you can add vegetables. Good question.
Okay, it seems there's not too many questions left.
Okay.
So if anyone has any questions for Elvis here, feel free to contact through Family Care Nutrition. And yes, let's conclude this webinar. So the promo code is a small gift to us from us to you guys for staying around for the webinar. So please use the promo code Energy Greens for $50 to use on familycarenutrition.com. And stay tuned for our next webinar on healthy aging. Yeah, keep an eye out for the email and hope to see you there. Thank
Yes,
you,
it'll be in
everyone.
September. It'll be in September, I think the third week, Alvin.
Oh, okay, yes.
The
But yes,
20th.
keep an eye out on the email, and hope to see you all there.
Okay, thank you very much, Alvin, and thank you for those who attended. Have a safe and wonderful week. Bye for now.